Welcome to Galaxies in Peril episode 10. We're the double digits. We have Kai back with us. Yeah, that's awesome. And so last time we left off, let me look at my recap here. We were at the Sister Margaret's bar, and Svava was smashed over the head with a bottle by a gentleman who soon learned that that was a incorrect decision that he made. And his friend helped him back to his booth there. The Reaver, who was hanging out, Pretty Boy, slipped out the back, and Remakes followed him. And yes, that is flirting in Asgardian. He just can't take it. Remakes shadowed Pretty Boy out the back, did not engage, but overheard him calling for backup and left him to Rain, who was still hanging out front. And we'll see what happens there. Everyone else went to the address in Staten Island that was given to them on a napkin by Patch. And they got there. There's a warehouse. Nighthawk scouted the place around, got some really good rolls in there, and you were able to bust in. Svava and Remakes turned into Pretty Boy. Svava and her busted in under the pretense that Pretty Boy / Remakes had captured Svava and was turning them in there for some reason. Did the whole we need help routine. There were some gentlemen in fancy suits, rough looking guys talking to a purple haired woman with a jumpsuit and a data pad who looks like she was kind of running the place. They didn't know why they were there. Svava escaped and they began fighting. And in the confusion, Nighthawk was able to sneak in and put a sniffer on their computer or network and slip out undetected. Svava and Remakes had to bust through a door. The goons shot at them on the way out, burdening out Remakes, making her insecure. And on the way out, she heard the woman's voice in her mind. What are you? So that's fun. Remix had to go back to her healing pod in the basement, and we had some nice flashback from them leaving home on a spaceship. And then we did some downtime. The only one I have written down is Alex recovering resistance and training. I think Svava did basically the same thing, unless I'm misremembering.
Didn't we do downtime at the start of the session?
We started at with the bar fight.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I did some training and something else. I don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't write anything down, so it was probably straightforward. Cool. And we decided we were going to start off by popping back to Devil Wolf and seeing what happened there. I think the assumption we made was that she was going after Pretty Boy on the motorcycle, but I'd like to hear from Rain herself what the deal was. So you were hanging out front. Pretty Boy escaped. Everyone was like, "Follow him." You can do that or something else. What do you feel like?
Is Pretty Boy the one that his lower half is the tank?
No, he uh he wasn't there. He wasn't on the bridge, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. So y'all
having metal banded arms, no visible weaponry.
got it. Okay. And he jumped onto a motorcycle, or he's running on foot, or
Um, I don't remember how it was, but yeah, let's say he got on a motorcycle. I think that's more fun. Yeah.
yeah. All right.
I think we specified.
All right. Well, let's play some Tron. Um, right? Like super fast motorcycles. Um, I punch the door guy on the arm. I'm like, I don't want to say duty. He'll make fun of me. She said service calls, and so she um puts her helmet on, jumps in her bike,
Nice.
makes that happen. Anyway, um, but I want to let him lead the show because I think there's more to know about where he would flee to than capturing him at first. So I make it look like I'm only barely keeping up with him.
Cool. Yeah, let's see a roll for that.
Okay,
Uh,
let's see.
sounds like prowl, but what do you feel like?
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely a prowl.
Cool. Do you want
Okay.
to push or get a devil's bargain?
Do you have a devil's bargain? Does anyone have a devil's bargain in mind?
I could say whether you keep up with him or not, uh, someone else was following you.
Okay, I'll take that.
Anyone else
A young renegade hero is also after Pretty Boy, and they're reckless and putting civilians in danger.
have?
Okay.
Sorry, that's kind of my go-to. I can't help it.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm like, can I do both? So uh it's very much a one punch man kind of scenario here. Uh uh yeah, I'll oh that'll make a great cover. You know, Devil Wolf versus I don't know, some other guy's name, right? Like introducing so and so.
Yeah, and this will be standard risky. So, do you want to get an extra die or bump up effectiveness?
Um bump up effectiveness, yeah.
Cool.
Um so uh risky great.
Risky, great.
Okay. Um
Does anyone else want to help because you have your comms on? You can still do that.
hmm. uh well, I don't want to get like trying like, in a situation that might like confuse the timeline. I mean, no one does that, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
they're on their way to Staten Island, so there's time.
you're on a ferry talking to me on a ferry.
They took a
Great.
town car, if I'm right.
Okay. Um, if anybody's got any ideas, or I guess like Nighthawk, do you have like any sort of like ability to hack into like road cameras or sensors or
Yeah, I could totally send you a map.
okay.
Maybe, whenever they're too far ahead of you, I can, switch a stoplight so that they have to get slowed down and yeah.
Nice.
Well, if I could do a flashback, I could have you having modified my helmet to be able to throw up
Ooh.
information on it or something like that.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's perfect.
cool. Yeah.
How much do you think that would cost?
I think that's pretty easy. Probably just one, I would say.
One?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then you'll spend one to give me the information. So now I have 3 dice, risky great. All right. That sounds like a plan. No dose trace. Um, a 6.
That's a 6. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. So you are able to follow Pretty Boy wherever he goes. And I think he heads north.
When
And
does the other oh sorry.
go ahead. What?
When does the other hero show up? I just want to make sure that you like that's the devil's bargain that I took. Just to,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, yeah. So he heads north, crosses which bridge? Crosses the Third Avenue Bridge and goes up to the Bronx. And you're able to follow him up there a little bit. And he actually drives all the way up. It takes a little while. He goes up to Pelham, and there's not a great neighborhood. It's not a great neighborhood. It's kind of by the water on the east side there, and eventually just rolls up and pulls up to an apartment building that's it's got kind of like two separate kind of like short-ish towers, maybe 6 stories or so, connected by a middle bridge there, or not bridge, a little connecting smaller building, and parks outside, slaps a disc lock on, and just heads in, like, looks over his shoulder, doesn't see anyone, and heads on into an apartment. What would you like to do?
So again, the apartment is inside this double tower
Yeah.
place. Okay. Um. Hmm. So I want to like stay just behind him enough that I can see which elevator he's in and then see where the elevator stops.
Mhm.
And then try to get to that floor uh um on my own and see what's there. If
Yeah.
it's too much, then I'll bail. But if the chase is still on, then I'm still going.
How do you want to how do you want to do that?
Hmm.
There's elevators and there's stairways and windows.
Um, I think I'm being graceful,
Mhm.
right? So that's finesse. Um, because I don't want to roll prowl again. But let's see. I guess I'll push myself so that I have a die.
Oh, I guess I was asking more like fictionally. How are you
Oh, sorry. Um, so I guess in my mind, what I was like, uh, I I slip in, and so you're saying I've already seen what floor he's going to, and then where do I go from there?
um
Or
yeah, so if it sounds like you wanted to see, so, say he was going to the fifth floor,
yeah,
how do you want to
okay, yeah,
watch him from there?
yeah. Um, I'm going to go up to the sixth floor and then come down a floor.
Nice.
Um, and you know, from the opposite, well, I'll have to be in the same building, but I guess from the maybe on the opposite side of the building, maybe, just to keep the distance, I guess. But yeah, no, I'll go up to the sixth floor and then come back down um, on some stairs, and I peek my head out from the stairwell.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I don't think even need to roll for that. I think you just see him go into an apartment on the fifth floor. You can kind of like watch him from the stairwell.
okay, all right. Is this like you know, fancy apartments where
No,
like,
it's kind of
okay,
shitty. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
like a brick building, clearly from early 20th century,
Oh,
mid early.
so long ago. I I'm going to go up to the door and see if I can hear anything, like maybe he's on the phone with somebody or um
I think you just hear the TV come on and a can opening.
ah okay. Lovely. What could I do here? Um, I don't think I want to go in alone. I think that's way too risky. Um, and
Yeah,
kind of, and
he's being
you know,
super casual. Like he doesn't think anyone followed him. You've got his, you've pegged his location. So if you want to come back up later, that's cool. Or if you want to do something now, also cool.
oh, I want to see if like there's uh was there a front desk when I went in?
Oh no.
Okay. All right. Um, okay. Yeah, I want to find out like who owns the apartment complex, and then maybe have Nighthawk help me like see if any of the other Reavers live there, you know,
Okay.
that kind of thing. So I think it's like computer paperwork time.
Okay.
Um,
You want to do that while you're here?
uh, no, I think I'll head back home.
Okay, cool. Um, let's make that let's just make that a gather information roll. Um,
Oh, okay.
probably uh probably study,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Da, 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 da. A 4.
Awesome. Yeah. He is the only Reaver there. Um, it seems like he from records, it's just like Acme apartment management. Um, and he has lived there for some time. That's his place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the uh kind of the thing that we see on as you're returning back to Caffeine Hazard,
Yeah.
uh, everyone is the got the panel of you driving back, and then it pulls back, and there is a dark winged shape, sort of basically like building height, following you back.
Do I sense them or can't?
You do not. I think it's keeping a good distance.
Okay. Okay. Um,
Cool.
okay. Yeah. I head back home then.
So I think that brings everyone back. Um, you have some downtime coming to you. If you have anything that you're interested in doing.
Oh, um, well, one thing will be training prowess, so I can knock that out.
Cool.
Um, and get a dot of finesse. Um, and let's see, what would that look like? Finesse. Zvava, would you be willing to um in a safe way, but like basically like be a martial arts partner, and my goal is just to avoid your swings and strikes or punches and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And then,
absolutely.
after a certain amount of time of getting my face crushed against a brick wall of your hand, maybe I'll get a little bit faster. Um, and let's see. Oh, I do have a project. Find the head criminal. Yes. Um, what did I do? Oh, I went and I remember I met the God, my memory. The people that had the wreck of the helicopter, but that was not part of my downtime.
Damage control.
Uh, damage control, thank you. Um, right. I was this is the the ice cream truck gang. Um, um, oh, when I followed them, right? Like I got my camera out and I was in a parking deck, and there was some place that they went to, and I was able to get that location. Um, so I want to do a stakeout, and see if I can find, other people showing up at this location, and maybe find some strings to pull on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember where that was?
Oh, I probably should have written that down. Let's see.
I don't think I have it in my notes here.
I thought it was like downtown, um, which, uh, wait, if we did, downtime, that means I can tick my clocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I thought it was like, I remember describing it as being in a parking garage across the street.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's roll for that project.
Okay. Um, Sounds like study? No. Survey.
Yeah. Yeah. Either of those will work, I think.
Yeah, okay. I got a 4.
4. So that is 2 ticks.
2 ticks. And a microphone. Okay. I am 2/3 of the way there.
Nice. Um yeah, I think if you're going there and staking them out, I think what you see are some goons visiting them. Basically, you don't recognize them. They don't seem to be part of the gang, but they are uh they seem to be from, I don't know, a rival gang, the gang that they work for, someone that works for them. um you're not able to get a good look at what they're doing in there, but like folks come, stay for like a business amount of time, and then take off.
Okay. Maybe I grab a license plate then, and I
Yeah,
can see who it's registered to, and then maybe that'll lead me up the ladder.
yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, those are my 2 downtime actions then.
Cool. And we are back up to the timeline. Everyone's good. Cool. So I think everyone had their downtime there. So let's I didn't open any PDFs. Um, let's talk about what we want to do next. Missions. What is our procedure? Missions. Here we go. Cool. So is there any sort of open, just role play stuff you want to do before we talk about doing the mission? Anyone?
I have written down in my notes that we should research the guy with the top knot hair
Hmm.
in his hair, and that we should research the telepath with the purple hair. I don't know if that's researching in the direction of a job,
Hmm.
of a mission, but yeah.
Oh, and I didn't go through the wishes from last time. Wishes were to see Rain on the motorcycle. Check. Get a new downtime clock for remakes. See some more superheroes, and maybe think about some turf stuff. Remakes. Did you think about a new downtime clock, or are you not there yet?
Huh. We did fill out the skull scroll serum, and
Mm-hmm.
Would love to come up with something following on from there, or the other option is Oscorp stuff.
Yeah, I think those are the same thing.
Okay, I'll just call it Oscorp stuff. That sounds awesome. I'm very happy.
Cool. So the official expedition question is, if you want to do an expedition, what area of the world do you want to flesh out? That could be physical area or conceptual area.
I had an idea for turf, very not very well formulated, but because the turf thing says you gain more space or resources for your headquarters.
Mhm.
And I was thinking maybe we do something for the Fantastic Four, since they're our patron. We do something, they get us some lab equipment or something. And it doesn't have to be a quid pro quo sort of thing. It's not payment necessarily. It's just yeah, it would be fun to see something of that, and maybe be sent on doing something rather than just doing things of our own initiative, which is kind of how we've been doing it so far.
Yeah,
It could push us in a different direction.
cool.
I have an idea for that. It definitely doesn't have to be this one, but we could do it at some point. Um, maybe they gave us like a special sensor package, and we're just going to explore the door. Um, like since we don't know much about it, maybe these readings will help, you know, Reed, Sue, Ben, um, give us some insight on it. Again, we don't have to do it now, but I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Rich, Steven, anything you'd like to look at?
Stephen, you've thrown out a couple of the ponytail.
Yeah,
That's a good
research
one.
a couple of guys that we
Mhm.
ran into last session.
Who were the who's the purple psychic? Is that Psylocke or
That's the girl who asked Narrow in Harrow's
Yeah.
head, right? Who are you? I definitely am
Oh,
interested in that.
As you were running away.
yeah.
And we don't
Yes.
know who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Right.
definitely want to find
Super
out
interested
who
in
that
that.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still the whole that whole situation to explore.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Other main hooks that I have written down. Checking out Svava's sister's stuff and
Yeah.
readers are there. Um, Scroll Serum, Oscorp. If there's any connection to Idea Lab, because Gator was part of that. Going on a date with a construction guy, maybe.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
kind
Rick
of
is
blown
just
that one off.
hiding. Nightjar is still MIA, assumed dead, but we don't know for sure. And we've got uh, some space to do stuff with the Wong stuff or limo stuff or anything else.
It's kind of there's so many choices.
Yeah.
We can set up a table and roll a die.
So I guess for for your gang type, uh, what would you like to learn more about? I guess maybe.
I was going to say, why don't we see which of those would go in the direction of some of the wishes that we have? So are any of those in the direction of gaining more turf? I could see where the door might be related to that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think that's what we.
I directed it
Yeah.
towards, yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could continue the story, or I would suggest that, or we continue the story with like the psychic that we found out and all of that information and stuff. Just because, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that the heroes would just stop doing their thing and not pay attention to the person that just spoke in your head, right?
I think whatever we should focus on in the today and upcoming weeks is, since we're taking a gap, anything we can finish out so that we don't have to have memory of it. Like,
Oh, that's
really
really smart.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, I can declare date with construction guy as a downtime activity.
Yeah.
I'm glad you reminded me of it, but we needn't hold up the the game for it.
So it sounds like door or the warehouse.
Yeah, door or warehouse. Those both sound cool. Do you want to have a preference of one over the other?
Yeah. The second question is, what boundaries do you want to push with regards to those?
I know I suggested the door, but the other one sounds a lot more fun right now to me. The door's going to be there no matter what,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, there could be that if we want to make the door a bit more active, it could be that we notice there's something weird about it or something that seems wrong, and we need to.
Oh, we have that. Like, there's these words that were cut into the air or something
Oh,
like
that's right.
that.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
Reese is still in there.
And Reese is still in there, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, the warehouse people were interesting as well.
uh
I don't
evens
have
door,
strong.
evens or odds warehouse.
Unless someone wants to offer a strong opinion one way or the other.
Let's do the warehouse.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome. So what's our inciting incident and or problem or mystery involved there?
Isn't that who are these people and what are they doing?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, they're encroaching upon us.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are the people at the warehouse? Cool. So I think we've got some locations and factions. What's your plan? What's your approach?
Well, if Reminx looks like Pretty Boy and she's captured Svav. Oh wait, we tried that.
Yeah.
Maybe Svava's captured. No.
So let's not do deception this time. Because we did that last time.
What's our goal? I mean, what are we trying to accomplish? Do we just want to find stuff out about them, or do we want to actually do something? Sounds, but do we have some concrete
Yeah,
something
I
we're
think
trying to achieve?
I think our last session was finding out information.
Mhm.
This is time to take action, I think.
Yeah, and specifically, you're finding out information about who gave the readers their cybernetics.
Yeah. So maybe we're actually doing some gather info first, and then trying to formulate like the next mission, because we placed the data tap thing, right?
Yeah.
So using gather info with that as the fictional positioning, that could give us some information that we can act on to move forward, maybe.
Yeah, Nighthawk, you want to check out your data spike, see what you came up with?
Yeah. What would that be? Survey?
Study.
Sounds like study.
Okay.
But you could make a argument for that. I think survey might be so study might be it's been gathering information and you're analyzing the data. Survey might be you're sitting there watching it.
So let's stick with study.
Cool.
I have no ticks in study. And I have 1 resilience left.
Ooh. You want
So
to burn out during downtime?
yeah, why don't I push myself? And I have a burden chosen that I have written down below, so I'll burn out.
Nice.
So let's roll and see what that looks like. That gives me 1 die.
And you can get help if anyone wants to help.
I mean, I do. God, my brain. I just said what I did in the parking garage. I mean, sitting and looking at data and doing boring stuff, like I'm good for that.
And chasing down leads and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. That sounds like 2 dice then.
Okay. So I'll roll that. Is this controlled or risky or desperate or
This is just information gathering, so there's no risk.
oh, okay.
Nice.
There we go. I got a 6.
Cool. Yeah. So
before we go into what this is, let's
Yeah,
make this big enough that there would be a reason why I trauma out.
yeah. What trauma are you thinking of?
So my burden that I added is, am I cut out for being a leader?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how to make that shorter, but yeah.
Let's see, what?
No confidence or
Yeah.
I'm just going to put leadership question mark.
yeah.
Upcoming. Indecisive. Insecure. We already have an insecure, right?
I'll just put that down. Oh, I can't type in my own thing.
Yeah, or unconfident, something like that.
Okay. And
Cool.
I'll figure out a good name for it.
Yeah. As long as it's something we can tag for XP, it's all good.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah. Let me look at my little web here. Cool. So I think you discover a couple of things. You are, yeah. So you're able to uncover some transactions. This is using that network to receive, process, and send payments, basically. And I think you find so there are a bunch of small transactions for seemingly legitimate. There's a current transaction, a very recent one for pretty large chunk of money incoming, going to something that you can definitely tell is some sort of shell company. So it is probably someone doing something illegal that is hiding their tracks there. Um, you Number one, large transactions to probably criminal organizations or from criminal organizations. One relatively large one pretty recently, like in the last day or two. Number two, you are, as you're kind of probing the network, you find firewalls basically, and traffic through them, indicating that there's probably another network there that it's connected to that was not apparent in the warehouse. And third, you see outgoing payments that you can, it again goes through some intermediaries, but eventually, and these are kind of like regular, regular periodic payments going out to a subsidiary of Shaw Industries. I think that confirms the thing that you knew. You're like, oh, that sounds like when you got the address. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, three pieces of information. Getting paid by criminals. There's more there, and they're definitely connected with Shaw.
So in order to narrate my trauma out, how about let me add to that, and I'm going to add a complication,
Yeah.
which is that the money leads back to my family, right?
But is your family
And that's what
intertwined with Shaw somehow?
so I'm legacy basically, and my family are heroes.
Yeah.
But somehow that money, and those heroes, they're somehow Shaw's got his hooks into something I'd always done. You know, there's something there I can share. Everything's got to be completely safe within, the family and all that kind of stuff, but they've been compromised.
Excellent. What do we know about your family?
Very little other than what I just said. My parents are heroes, and I took over protection for of New York, of the city.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it. We discussed a couple of possibilities that we might find that might be coming from Wakanda. They might have ties back to there, but that was kind of left open-ended.
And they're not active right now, right? Hero wise.
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I think they've both retired.
Cool.
And they expect me to step up.
Right.
Maybe they helped form Shield.
Ooh.
Maybe they joined Shield, but are reporting back on kind of trying to direct Shield.
Nope. He said too much.
His idea was so bad.
Don't talk about that. Don't talk about it.
Too much.
Too
Said too much.
Don't hack back. While we wait for Steven to return, what other kind of information gathering do you want to do?
Maybe just take a break.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's take. All right, Stephen is back. um, yeah, and you were saying something. I think when you dropped about what you're investigating.
So this was a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was my family. My parents are retired heroes. They expect me to to go in their stead. And so I had believed that that was a safe place for me, and now it's looking like Shaw Industries has their hooks in it.
Yeah. Cool.
That was it.
Awesome. What else do we want to look at?
We're trying to stay focused around the warehouse stuff, right? With our information gathering. Okay.
Right.
I mean, there's Remix always would offer, oh, I could just watch one of the people go in, and then when they leave, I'll go back in as them. What do we need to know?
Well, we kind of tried that last time. You went in as someone that we assumed had been there before,
Right.
and
It worked great.
they knew pretty quickly that you weren't who you were supposed to be somehow, and asked you who you were in your mind. So I think we're dealing with someone who can see past
What
physical
you are.
appearances.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. What else can we do to try to figure this out?
We could run in and start punching things.
Always an option.
So I don't know of any telepaths. You guys know telepaths?
I mean, we could follow up on the stuff you found out about the transactions and that sort of thing, like pull on that thread a bit more.
Mhm.
Unless you're trying to push us away from it so we don't learn about your family.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be doing that. I'd share all that with y'all.
Okay. Well, I mean, do we know that Shaw runs the Hellfire Club? Do we want to just rock up on in there and see what happens? Or I mean, he sent us a fruit basket or whatever.
Yeah. Um,
Guys with guns could break through the door. That's always fun.
I was
I don't-
thinking of, because they, I mean, was it Shaw interest that sent us the first fruit basket, or was it Shaw himself? Like, who was the who was the son? I don't know.
Signatory on the. I think it was just like a like thank you for your assistance, Shaw Industries.
Because I mean, one way to find something out would be to just go there and see and see if we can get to talk to Shaw, or at least someone who knows who we are and what happened to, like, just poke them a bit, see what happens.
I mean, it's kind of like showing up at Stark Industries and asking to talk to Tony, I guess, but
Yeah, yeah.
no reason you can't try.
Mm.
We could do the. I remember recommending like a girls' night out thing. What was that for? Anyway, some bar, I guess. I can't remember now. It's been 2 weeks.
One thing we could do is we could wait by the warehouse until someone leaves and then question them.
Mm.
I'm down for that.
Okay.
Who would like to do that?
Feels very Nighthawk.
Ooh. Yeah.
What remix will have your back?
The reason I say that is because that means it's going to get violent. I'm going to crush them with my fists.
What other methods for questioning do we have?
I don't think there are any. It's just punching.
Coffee. We give people coffee.
Is there not Arlene
We
or
could
something like
we
that?
could take the truck. We could take the food truck outside the warehouse and see if anybody comes out.
Definitely could do that.
We could set up a Wi-Fi that says FBI, security van or something like that. See if anybody logs onto it.
I love the idea of taking the
I think
coffee.
we have a pretty good data tap.
Right.
I think we have a pretty good data tap, but social engineering would be very good.
Mhm.
So if we take the coffee truck, I think that means the mission would be social.
So do you want to do that as investigation, or do you want to do that as the lead into the mission?
I still haven't figured out what we want to achieve. Like, what are we trying to do?
So
So
you got the information because you were looking for whoever was supplying the Reavers with cybernetics. Yeah.
So if we're trying to follow that thread, then the payments they were making, because it wasn't just your family that was involved, right? It was other criminal organizations or something. So we could follow up on that thread, see where that leads us, if it gets us something that's more actionable. Right?
Do we consider Reese to be an ally at this point?
I don't know about an ally, but he's definitely chilled out a lot. He's
Do we
not
want
hostile.
to? So what?
He's not hostile.
Yeah. I mean, we could ask him if he wants to go back in and bring us some information, right? I mean, would he like to be in the real world or in his Klein bottle? Yeah.
Seems really risky.
What do we think?
Oh, where is the warehouse in terms of superhero turf? Is it
It's in,
Spider-Man?
no, yeah, it's in Staten Island. So I don't know who operates down there. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Dazzler, I think.
Amazing.
The vampires and What We Do in the Shadows live there.
So Blade, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what I'm asking is like, are there other people who've already observed these guys who already have like tabs on them, or they know more about them, or something like that? Like my main goal as a character at this point would be find out who was in Nero's mind. Like I think that's the most important thing we have right now.
But how? How do we do that?
We borrow a psionic sniffer from from the Fantastic Four and use
that
it.
sounds like acquiring a resource to me.
Oh yeah.
Someone wants to spend
Sorry.
it.
Oh crap! We don't have any more downtime, right? But we can pay a resource to
Yeah,
an
we
expert.
could.
Yeah, you can definitely spend for it.
I'm gonna do that.
You sure? I could do
Yeah.
it. It's most okay.
I don't know. I have resources. I'll do it. Sounds fun.
What's that require resource?
It's
Or assets. That's what it is.
acquire asset. Yeah.
So you're rolling a team's tier. So you'd roll one die.
Hold on. I am in the wrong dice room. I'm still in black. That's it. I get a 4.
4. So that will be a tier 1 psychic sniffer. Yeah, I want to hear how this conversation goes.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to figure out who I would think I'd talk to Sue.
Mm.
And I'd go there definitely. Svava is definitely a go there, talk to people person rather than using phones. So she'd go there, meet up with Sue, and talk, like give a very brief version of the investigation they're doing. We're looking for this person who's installing or providing cyberware for criminals, and we encountered what we think is psychic. And now I'm realizing that Svava would probably use different words for cyberware and psychic, but my brain isn't working at the level where I can come up with something good like that.
Sorcerer of some kind.
Yeah. Sorcerer with mental powers. And we could use your help in trying to locate them if you have a suitable device for such purposes.
So you're looking for something that will locate someone with psychic abilities.
Yeah, or detect them, something like that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think Reed and Ben are off doing superhero shit. So she is able to. I think that is something that is more Reed's area of research currently, but she can rustle something up for you. And I think for I think it is actually like suitcase sized, which is not a problem for you. It's but it is bulky. You could probably like arrange it as a backpack, and it's got like a lead coming out with kind of like a a large iPhone sized display slash control
Oh,
thing.
that's perfect.
Yeah, but it is definitely bulky.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, and I don't think Svava had any real expectations on what this thing would look like. So it's just, oh, apparently this is what it is. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Proton pack psychic scanner.
I like the idea of putting it on the truck for future stuff.
Yeah.
Well, since this was an acquire asset, unless this game works differently with this, it's a one mission kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in regular Blades, I think it's easier to get it like the second time and the third time, that sort of thing. But I don't remember the detail.
Yeah, if you reacquire the same asset, you get +1 dice to your roll.
Oh, cool.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, and if you continue to reacquire it, you can effectively rent it indefinitely, it says. If you want to keep it permanently, that's a team upgrade or a long-term project. Cool. I love it. So you got some information, you've got your scanner. Anything else you want to do before you jump in?
Still not sure what we're doing. So I don't think we've set like a mission goal.
Let's do that. What do we know at this point about the warehouse? We got some intel from hacking that
There's money going in and out, right?
but it's a
And you know-
business, so that
You know,
doesn't
there's
seem
more
terrible.
to it than it appears from the network.
And it's coming through. So this is where we traced the cyborg stuff to,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's connected to Shaw Industries, which we suspected and now confirmed. There's a lot of money coming in and out of here, and they have a dark web. You know, they have a something even worse. You know, something even worse, or another network that's even more secure that we don't have access to at this point.
Yeah, and I think Nighthawk, you know, it's not connected somewhere else. It's probably somewhere on site.
And
Okay.
we know that there's a psychic involved, which
Mhm.
is scary because, you know, who knows what those people can do to our brains.
People.
Those people.
Knowing that it's on site, that gives a little bit of a parameter. This is what we can get out of it is finishing the job on gathering information. I like that.
Well, I mean, we've done a lot of work to gather information, so we don't want them to know like that we're poking around and then they just up and move, right? Like we want them to, for a little while at least, continue to operate as normal. So why don't we stealth our way in? With the potential for punchy punch if things go bad. I guess what I'm trying to say is just like I don't want all of this to happen and then they're like, okay, well, we're moving to, you know, Poughkeepsie and we never know where they are. We've lost that information.
So we snuck in last session.
Oh, you did this. Oh, you
Um,
already did that. Sorry. Okay.
But you
Uh,
deceived your way in overall, right?
yeah.
But yeah, Nighthawk did the stealth stuff.
Could we convert an asset? Could we get like somebody, try to find somebody that goes there that would be an ally to us? Maybe someone who doesn't feel like they're getting paid well enough or
Mm.
finds the work oppressive if there's work that's being done there, or
might be
yeah,
asset.
I mean, in a spy term of acquire an asset, I mean that could be a goal, right?
Then we're probably not
So
doing it
out-
at the warehouse. That sounds more like trying to find someone who works there and either lean on them or try to befriend them, something like that, right?
So
Oh,
it sounds like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, I have another idea. So say what you're going to say.
No, I was just going to summarize where we were. So
Okay. If so, cybernetics are being constructed there. That's what we found out, right? One of the things we found out.
are they being constructed? I thought that there wasn't enough facilities there for that. This is where we were told to go for it.
Okay.
And we
there
went
weren't
in
there
acting like
wasn't
we wanted to buy it. I don't think we went in there thinking that's where they
Oh,
did it.
okay.
And there wasn't a
They
medical
weren't-
bay or it looked
Yeah,
like
they
a
weren't-
legit business.
They weren't installing it there at least.
And there was a weird, like, slightly heated meeting with a slightly mafioso looking guy.
With a top notch. And he
Top notch.
recognized Svava. He recognized Svava and sent his goons after him.
That's right. Yep.
And so let's go over kind of what we're looking for. I think Anders has said it a couple of times. I think what we're looking for is we're trying to find out where the cybernetics is coming from and who's supporting the guys who attacked us, the team that attacked us. And as we're piecing that down, everything led us to here. And from here, we need to continue tracing back to find out who basically sent the team after us and where they're getting their support from. And one way we could do that is we could sneak in again, but we've done that, and I'm not sure we'll get much more from that. A second way that about is social, which is to take the coffee truck, park it in front, use the psychic detector, see if we can find a disgruntled employee, and or persuade them. And then we could just, I think we've also talked about just going in and fighting and smashing the place up.
Not very super heroic at that point.
Did we talk to the guy we have in the prison? Because he should know where his cyberware was installed, I think.
He might even know who the psychic is.
So we're talking to Reese.
Yeah.
That's fine. That sounds fun.
Let's do it.
Cool. Gonna go in there.
I mean, I will go in there.
Do you want some? Yeah, Salva should go with you.
Yeah, I'll tag along.
Cool. I think Remix is the only one that went in there to talk to him before, right?
Right, but Rich doesn't want to like hog
Yeah.
the scene, so
Cool.
Well, I just had a scene, so if you want to do it, that's perfect.
Okay.
oh, I'll go with you, Rain.
Okay.
I've been in there before.
Cool.
And since I missed last session, like, any of you could be in my ear and be like, ask him this and ask him that, and you would have told me beforehand what kind of questions to ask. So, I mean, all of us are involved. It's just not necessarily.
You still have advanced comms.
And Nero would go to a used bookstore and buy like a few dozen paperback books
Nice.
and bring them with her.
Okay.
Like a paperback. Oh, do we lose Steven and get him back? Double Steven!
Just getting phone.
Good call. Good call. The audio was not awesome.
Double the Steven.
Oh no.
Yeah, what does it look like when you enter the door?
Do you mean what does the world look like? Or are you asking how we enter the door?
A little bit of both, I think.
I remember it was like this big alien field that he was in.
Yeah, I think there were multiple places to go, but the place he was in was like a pastoral setting, I think. Yeah. But yeah, kind of weird looking.
Is that interesting to you, Kai?
Yeah. But if I could throw in something, maybe something there is waiting for us to arrive. Like the first thing I came up with in my head was like horses were waiting for us or something like that. Just like I'm trying to was trying to see if there was any sort of like intelligence to the place itself,
Hmm.
right? But nothing really comes to mind. So
Well, so
I-
the only concern I have about that is we established Reese was a little bit on the lonely side,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
but
if
it could be adapting. I don't know.
yeah, well, I mean, if he found something to talk to in there, that would be interesting. But yeah, no, I don't think we should make any changes at this point.
Yeah,
we
I
still
think when you get in there, he is. Did you bring him a book before?
I don't think I did. I think that she noticed that Remix realized, oh, he doesn't have a whole lot to do.
Yeah.
I'll bring him a bunch of books to read because he mentioned not having any contact with other people and not knowing how time is passing, etc., was unnerving for him.
Yeah. So I think when you get in there, you have to wander a little bit through this landscape, and you eventually come up to him. He's kind of just like sitting on a boulder, kind of like with one knee up, next to a stream, just kind of looking off at the like light forest in the distance, and kind of nestled next to him there is a deer that is just kind of like on the ground, and when you approach, it's like ears prick up, and it looks over to you,
Oh, wow.
and he says, "How long's it been?"
Uh, Nero would rattle off. What has it been, like 3 days, maybe? 2
Yeah, it's been
days?
yeah.
60 hours. How long
Uh,
does it feel like it's been?
I would have said a lot longer, but I don't really have a frame of reference here. Um, you brought a friend.
You remember Rain, right? You
Mhm.
fought her and lost. I brought this for you.
like it takes her a second. She's like, oh, okay. Uh,
um, and he gets up and walks over and takes the bag, and like his eyes light up, like they like initially light up, and then it kind of like goes a little dark, and you can tell that he's realizing that you intend for him to be in here a long time if you've brought him this many books.
I bought a
I
lot of books because I didn't know which ones you would like better.
Oh.
So you can tell me, and then I will get more of those if you want more of those.
So I'm not getting out anytime soon, I guess.
well, we have some questions. If we can, I don't know, figure out what we need to figure out, the sooner we can do that, the sooner we can let you go.
Yeah, I mean, I've got nothing else to do.
Books.
So we went to the warehouse in Staten Island.
Oh,
Um, do you know anybody that works there? Are you friends with them?
I mean, Jenny and Rita, those are the two that are there most of the time.
Do you know any who can talk to people's minds? Purple hair?
Yeah, that's Jenny.
Oh. Is it with a Y or an I?
With a, I never asked. I assume with a Y.
Never make that assumption.
We're not really close.
Oh. Is that magic? Is she a mutant? Is she an alien?
Again, I never asked. I try to not pry into these kind of things, especially someone who can. Yeah, It's just the thing she does.
Huh.
You can kind of tell because she kind of like her face goes blank when she's talking to Rita. And she doesn't want you to hear.
Who's Rita?
Rita's the mechanic, I guess, surgeon. No, she's the one who put you under and does this.
Is that where you got your stuff installed?
Yeah, we all did. Didn't have to pay for it.
Pretty cool. Not at the warehouse though. It didn't seem like it was set up for that. That was just
Yeah, the body shop's underground.
under the warehouse?
Yeah.
Oh. Look to Rain. Oh.
What, you think they just have it sitting out there where anyone can see it? It's a lot of,
Well, obviously that is exactly what I thought.
I mean, if nothing else, there's a lot of expensive equipment in there. You know what I mean? Don't leave that kind of stuff just sitting around. Why? Why do you have you were there?
Yes.
It's kind of like he knows you're a Skrull, right? Yeah, he like says you don't seem like you need anything. Did they hook you up or why?
I'm trying to find out more about the serum they gave you. I've also had some conversations with a man named Osborne. Was he involved in any of the cybernetics?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. Um, so out of character, do we want to know like about its defenses, or do we are we trying to find a weakness? Um, think
I
here.
mean, he's just told us who's installing the cyberware, right?
Yeah, we just kidnap her.
Kidnap.
I mean, we now we know who's doing it. We just need to decide what we want to do about it. Do we just go in there and smash the place where they're doing it, or do we try to figure out where they're getting the cyberware to climb up the chain, or
Okay. Well, if they're not building it there, then we need to find out where they're building it. Um, so I'll ask Reese. Any idea where they get the stuff from? I mean, they're not building it there, right?
I mean, I don't. I showed up. They put me under. I woke up and I had the stuff. I didn't check out their supply chain or anything.
I know you didn't.
I mean, when you go to the doctor, do you ask where he gets his doctor stuff?
I've seen on television that you need to do your research. So it seems silly to me, but I agree with you generally.
I mean, Pierce got us hooked up, so he's the boss.
Is there anyone else you could testify against? Since things didn't work out with the original plan, so you could get out.
I've worked for a lot of people. We all have there's a I'm sure there's a lot of people I could testify against, and I don't think I would make it long if I did.
Hmm.
Line of business is not the kind where you go around squealing on folks you work for. Nothing ethical, just that's the end. Even if they don't take you out, you'll never work again. I mean, it doesn't look like I'm going to be doing much work anyway. So, why is someone else up?
I just thought if there was someone else you could roll on, roll over. Looks to Rain. Which one? The one where you tattletale on someone more powerful so you get off of punishment?
Roll on.
Roll on.
Are you
That's
trying?
also a deodorant.
If I give you more information, you're going to let me out for good behavior?
I want to.
What's stopping you?
It's a team decision.
Looks over at Rain.
She's just 25% of the team. It has to be unanimous. Don't look at her that way. All of. Is there anything else, Rain?
Ondish, Stephen, any questions that you would want to ask on them?
No, I kind of feel we got the information we wanted. We just need to decide what to do with it.
So part of the reason that we're after these guys is they came after us and they're kind of
Mhm.
horning in on our territory. So we want to make sure that we can defend our area and the people in it. And they seem to be going after the people in it. So I guess maybe a question for him would be, what is their, what are they doing? What's the purpose of coming into our area? Are they trying to, what are they trying to do? What's their, yeah.
What are who trying to do?
The organization that's bringing in the cyborgs, the Reavers, to come after, and go after this area of New York City. What are they trying to get at? Are they just throwing their weight around? Are they trying to, go after a specific target? Are they trying to build up and take over the city?
Um, yeah, I think he is, basically his line is, he works with the group, for Pierce, and whoever hires them, that's who says where they go. Yeah, I mean, we're just muscle. I mean, I was set to roll over on Shaw, and I mean his eyes are bigger than the city.
Who would know more about that information? That's another good question.
I mean, if Pierce is the one that gets the jobs, so if you can find him, but I don't think you're gonna have an easy time with him. Didn't he knock the big one on our ass? Yeah, he's the one that had Svava's sister's sword.
Hmm.
When we let you go, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm not going back in the hole. And I'm going to assume that the rest of the guys figured that since I was here for so long, I'm not to be trusted anymore. So find my way overseas, I guess. Try and make a living somewhere else, somewhere not so civilized.
That sounds terrible. Is that what you want to do, or is that what you feel you have left as a choice?
I'm not going to be a librarian. I'm not sure what you recommend.
Would you like to be a hero?
How's that pay?
We're getting paid. We're having a life.
I've burned a lot of bridges. Might be a tough sell.
Okay.
And again, I haven't made a lot of friends in my line of work. And the more high profile I am, the the shorter my time is. I only made it through Rikers because they don't have a lot of guys like me in there. But someone found me, and they could have just as easily, instead of turning me into whatever, they could have just put me out.
You're probably right. Okay.
Okay. Well, um,
So when you let me out, the shorter answer is I'm out of your hair for good.
I th- okay. I don't. I wasn't really trying to get you out of. Okay. We should go.
And he like
I want to,
pets the deer on the head as you're finishing up the conversation.
I want to, I want to use a superpower, um, and hopefully roll for it so that I might get it for free next time. Um, but I want to slightly warp his space so that, like, I don't know, like he has the ability to call for us or
But
keep up with the outside world, have a reference point, maybe see the sun. I don't know, like what I would like what I'm trying to I know what I'm trying to get him, which is like, something that every human being needs. But like what the effect would be, I'm not quite sure.
but it sounds like you're trying to like open up a secure breach from inside the door to the outside so we can either talk to someone, let you talk to y'all, or see the outside or something.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. I think that would be along the lines of your difficult ability there. But yeah, that would sound like definitely like an attune roll.
okay. Let's see here. That's 2 dice. Um,
I don't know. I think it's going to be desperate standard because this is a space that's designed to be like a dimensional prison, and so breaching it might be risky.
Terrible idea, but I can help.
How can you help?
Don't know. I'm saying I would help. That
Oh,
that
okay. Yeah,
Nero
okay.
would desperately want to help here.
Um, how about this? How about I, instead of trying to create like a breach, what if like I was just going to simply reshape this?
Hmm.
And like, if he were going to like, if he had like a cabin in the woods that he, I don't know, just like, I want this to be more humane. Um, I feel really, really guilty that like, we inherited this thing and we want to use this thing and it's great for its purpose. Like he sure as heck isn't getting out. But like I thought we were going to be throwing like mindless creatures in here. I thought that, the or the evil things that come out of limbo here, where I could feel less guilty. But I'm just as he's just as human as I am, in my mind. Um,
Yeah, so I think that would be. I think that would still be difficult,
okay.
and if you so you could either just pay the resilience, and I think that's within your ability to do, or you could pay the resilience and roll for it, which might incur some risk, but might also get you that power.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to roll the dice, because then I get an XP.
Yeah, so
Um,
that'll be risky standard.
Oh, it's risky standard. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think making the breach would be difficult or desperate.
Can I trade position for effect? Could I do desperate? Great.
You sure could.
Okay. Um, I'm trying to think about how Narrow could be involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Um, so I want to give Reese the ability to like shape things a little bit here.
Ooh, I
Okay.
know all about shaping things.
Yes.
Exactly. So I'd like to use that resonance of you doing. So if I could hold your hand and tap into that changing resonance, then maybe that would help me with the spell.
Nice.
Cool. I love that.
Nice.
Okay. All right. 3
And,
dice.
Yeah, let me burn
One.
one to help. You're right. You're right.
All right. All righty. What could go wrong?
Huh.
3 dice says
Nice.
a
What
4.
could go wrong?
Woo, 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 woo. A 2,
So
a 3, and a 4.
this is desperate. Um. So yeah, tell me, tell me what the tell me what the casting looks like. I guess.
Um, I think it's more of just like me letting what's inside me out
Hmm.
than any sort of like spell circle or Doctor Strange effect or book or anything like that. Um, like the creature that's on my placard, like is getting like I'm letting them out a little bit. And I don't know if they're going to cooperate or not,
Hmm.
or if they'll even go back in afterward. Um, but uh, I did it anyway. Um, so
Yeah. Great. So I think the consequence which you can resist will happen when you leave.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so the what visually does it look like when he gains that ability?
I think I've basically willed into existence like a remote control, and I hand it to him because I don't want to give it to him,
Right,
right? I want to, like, this is mine. I just want to externalize it.
right.
And
What
I'm
does
like,
the remote look like? Is it like a crystal thing, or is it like a TV remote, or some science?
well, I'm using Narrow's help, so I'm guessing it's going to look like scroll technology.
Nice.
Oh wow, what does scroll technology look like? Holy cats! I can't even remember what things look like on the ship in the Marvel in Ms. Marvel or in Captain Marvel.
It's kind of
Oh
like
yeah,
organic, right? Or is that the Kree stuff?
or
Uh,
maybe it's like a wall panel instead of a remote control. Basically,
Hmm,
opening up the fuse box, right? Um,
nice.
and it has different dials and stuff in it.
Yeah,
But it
I mean,
still,
it's like
it would look scroll, right? It would have
yeah.
basically like the control panel from the movie, but on a wall type area. I'm kind of combining together with the magicians when they piss off the gods, so they send in a repair guy and he opens up the fuse box for magic and turns it off. Um, so, um, but yeah, none of these things should be able to harm
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So,
But it's a physical device that he has.
uh, yeah, yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess it's like an organic kind of it's like half organic, half I mean like half like techno organic and half kind of like looks like it
Ooh, I
belongs in
know.
place maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's like you think about what you want to change. Say, like, I'd like to add a sun, and then the control changes to give you the buttons and dials that
Mm.
like would be necessary
Color
to.
and the brightness, yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
Uh cool, yeah, and he fiddles with it a little bit. Um and like cool. Um this is gonna this is really helpful. Between this and the books, I don't like being here, but you all are all right.
I appreciate that. I really do.
maybe sometime you might even possibly think of us as a friend.
I don't have a lot of friends, but I'll put it on my list.
Okay.
And so I guess like he says that, right? And the remote control like pops up a list in front of him. Right? Just as a joke, I guess. Um,
Cool, yeah. I think so when you leave, um tell me what the portal looks like again to get in.
what did we decide on? There was like a alien prison that we were basing it off of, right? Like
Hmm.
19 or
Oh
some
yeah.
reason. Um,
Yeah, that sounds right. Like a negative zone thing that.
but yeah, I like the idea of a wooden door. But
Sure.
okay. So yeah, I guess like cobblestone archway with a wooden door.
Nice.
Um, fuck it, make it a hobbit hole size, but just like I don't know, if it conforms to me, then she wants something that's kind of Scottish. So like the
Nice.
door
A
to a
Norfolk
Scottish
door.
king. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Nice. Cool, yeah. So you step out and go down, and this is the consequence that you can resist if you like. After you leave, the door opens again, and someone that looks very much like the person on your image there steps out and looks around and smiles.
Oh Jesus. Whoa.
Do you want to resist that?
I'm trying to figure that out. Um, I think I want to resist that in character
Mhm.
because the mechanics just let me obliviate it, right? Like just it never happened.
Yeah, so maybe she steps out like as you're leaving and you hear the door open and close behind her, and you can turn around and see.
Yeah, yeah. Like if that were the end of the episode, that would be perfect for me to like, if this was a TV show, to be like, oh shit, kind of thing, right? But yeah, no, I will not resist the consequence mechanically, but I will resist it in character.
Cool. Um, yeah. So let's. Well, yeah. Cool. Yeah. So she you know, she smiles at you and starts to do like you can tell she's doing a travel teleportation whatever summoning.
Okay. Well, no, that can't. I'm gonna try to throw. I try to create a. I don't know these things. I don't, not especially not without her separated from me. I think I'm just gonna try to knock her out. I'm gonna like run up and I'll run up and see if I can grab her.
Cool.
And
I think
if
Remake sees all this too as well.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So wait,
Okay,
who,
that's
who
good.
is this? Who? I'm sorry, I'm just a little lost. You said someone on a picture, and
I assume it's the
Yeah. The thing that's inside of me, the devil inside the wolf.
oh,
yeah.
oh, I've never seen this devil before.
No.
It's a tiefling. She
It
would
is a
scream
tiefling.
out.
Yeah, so you're gonna try and grab her, I guess.
I'll tackle her
Cool.
because Rain looks like she wants to stop her.
Yes.
Who's this? Tackle.
Tackle. That definitely sounds like skirmish then.
Okay.
I'm so bad at this. Awesome.
Is it a group roll then? Am I leading the group roll?
Yeah, why don't you lead?
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna roll my skirmish.
And this is risky standard.
Risky standard. Okay. Um
I gave you a fail. There you go.
cool. And I also failed.
No leave.
Yeah.
Look like a tree, tiefling. Wait, the
Yeah.
opposite of that.
Yeah, I guess when so who is kind of like who has the initiative? Who's running at her first?
I thought I was like a little bit faster than other people.
That feels right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she just like she just smirks and holds out her hand and just this like Kirby energy comes out of her hand and just knocks you up against the wall. And I think they'll do level 1 harm. Stunned.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wanted to fight. Now I got it.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can jump in front and resist that? And defend?
Yeah, you can resist that, but she's also going to so are you just running at her like yourself, or are you doing some scroll stuff?
I gotta do some scroll stuff, so I can bulk up.
Nice.
A girl rhino or something.
Awesome. Yeah, and when you are you charging your head first, or
Of course, I failed, and that's the worst idea. So yes, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, and when you charge her, she just grabs the back of your head and just pulls you forward.
Oh, sweet.
Smacks your head against the side of the door.
Nice.
And I think, yeah, that's gonna be level 1 concussion, I guess.
Oof.
You can each resist those if you like.
I'll resist my own concussion now that I have a concussion coming. I think I will do it with resolve, trying to keep my head.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm really close to resilience out, and I just got my my first burden. I'd like to not have to get a second one so quickly. So I'm not going to. I get knocked in the head all the time, so I'm knocked in the head again.
It's fine. Scars are sexy. I got a 6.
Cool. Yeah, so your thick skull it just like puts a dent in the door, but you're fine.
Is it fine, or do I drop to less effect? I can never remember if you resist, if it just drops to the level, or if it makes it go away.
This was just level 1 harm, so you absorb it. And yeah, she makes a break for the door to the coffee shop. Between y'all,
I will.
Where are Svava and Nighthawk?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Out in the coffee shop, I think. Like I'm manning the counter while they're doing this stuff.
Nice. What about Nighthawk? You around?
Yeah, I think that I'm probably in the front of the coffee shop, kind of lounging around in the corner, but I think I'm doing research. The stuff that we talked about earlier, where I'm looking up the financial information and all that kind of stuff.
Cool. Are there customers in the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. So both of you see this happening. A woman that looks very much like Rain, only she's got big old horns and a red suit, and is kind of like trailing some sort of energy, like sort of bursts out of the door, which is maybe to the back or wherever the entrance is, and kind of like starts towards the door and makes it like halfway and sees you, Svava, and like clocks Nighthawk. And I think she has some knowledge of who you are just because of where she came from. And she dashes for the door, and as she does, she's not pushing customers aside, but kind of like touching them on the shoulder, touching them on the head. And those 3 customers like writhe, drop their coffee, and begin transforming into demonic forms, and she darts out the door.
Well, I'm leaping over the counter. I think I have to go after her.
Cool.
It's a choice here, but yeah, I have to go after her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think once you like jump over the counter or whatever, 2 of them like each grabs one of your arms, and the customers have like, they're like 8 feet tall and blackish green and scaly, burning eyes.
Okay. Well, they need punching.
Yeah, so one each has, each one, 2 of them, one each one of them is grabbing an arm. They grab by the arms.
So they're like grabbing me something like
here.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll try to basically throw myself into a wall and just make them take the hit.
Love it. Is this skirmish or is this smash?
Smash, I think.
You're not you're not grappled onto me, I'm grappled onto you.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this will be risky standard. It will entail some property damage for sure.
Yeah. Is that a devil's bargain, I hear?
That's just what's going to happen if you're using smash.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't see any other reasonable way to do it. Yeah, I'll just I don't think I have a thing.
Would you
No,
like
I
a
don't.
devil's bargain?
I just roll it.
Okay, cool.
That's a 6.
Nice. Yeah, tell me how it goes down.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I think I actually keep pushing towards the door and kind of smash each one of them each into one of the sides of the door frame.
Yeah, and they just go through it, and like smash onto the sidewalk probably. Yeah, and you know these are maybe one's a regular one, someone who comes in occasionally, but right now they are as strong as you are.
Oh, one of them's a construction worker.
Yes.
Not even a devil's bargain. It just needs to be the thing.
Yeah, and that one runs for I assume you're hanging out as Alex, not as Nighthawk.
Yes, I'm hanging out as Alex.
Yeah, and this one
But-
has like talons and is just like coming at you, and will do some harm unless you do something.
Yeah. So I have super fast reflexes.
Mhm.
Like I've dodged bullets before.
Yeah.
So I'd like to use my powers to get out the door after the demon before they block the way.
Cool. So this is using your borderline ability.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I think that counts. Yeah, dodging a demon and dodging a bullet, similar.
So that would be, what kind of action would that be?
Yeah, I think that's
Finesse?
going to be yeah, finesse sounds good. Skillfully with grace. Prowl also skillfully and quietly. Depends on how you want to do it.
It could just be a
Skirmish is-
resistance roll.
Yeah, you could just resist the damage that's coming at you. It would probably be not 2 harm, a level 2 harm.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's no, I think I want to make this a roll simply because I'm using a power to do it. Let's see. Skirmish is about attack or fend off a group of people intent on doing you harm.
Yeah, that totally counts.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna spend the 3 resilience to do my borderline ability.
Cool.
And I'm gonna roll skirmish. And I'll push myself,
Nice.
spend all that lovely resilience, and I'm going to push myself to get a 3rd die. And so my intent here is to try to get out the door after Rain, who has transformed herself, or whatever that is.
Yep.
So let's see what that looks like.
Ooh, yes.
Ha!
Nice.
So that's a crit. So how does
yeah.
that work? That's the first time we've done that.
So that means that you make sure I'm not thinking of the wrong game. Double check. Yeah, you do it with increased effect, basically. So yeah, the demon that comes at you slashes with its talons. Describe getting out of the way there.
Yeah, so I think that I intentionally slow down a little bit as I'm headed towards the door, and he comes after me, and right as he's, as that attack's being thrown, as the talons come out, that's whenever I speed up and get out of the way, and he becomes overbalanced and smashes into one of the booths and is like tangled up in that booth itself.
Yeah.
As I slip out the door.
Cool. And yeah, you can just dart right past Svava and the other two on the ground.
Saying, "You've got this, right?"
Say that again.
Yeah, I hold them off.
Say
You go
Gustavo.
after her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are other customers in there who are screaming and trying to get out and panicking. But the door is smashed right now, so it's a bit of a madhouse. Yeah, and Nighthawk, Demon Rain is she's like across the street and is like looking around and turns around and sees you. And yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to shoot her. What kind of gadgets do I have? I got some. So at this point, personally, I still think this is Rain.
Mhm.
I'm going to shoot her with the grappling hook that I've had before to see if I can't rein her in and lock her down.
Cool. Awesome.
I just have to point out, you said you wanted to rein her in. That's it.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. I completely missed that. Oh my god.
I would say since you're Alex right now, it would
Yeah.
probably cost a resilience to have that gadget there.
Yeah,
Tony Stark out.
yeah, totally. I'll do that, and that's probably a finesse roll.
Yeah, I could see that.
Isn't finesse what you normally do whenever you shoot?
When you're
Well, hunt.
hunt is well, it's seek now, right? Is that
Yeah. I'm just thinking about the original
yeah.
blades. Hunting is like long distance or whatever, but
I think finesse is good because you want to do it without harming her, so you don't want to just like shoot her in the
Yeah.
face with a grappling gun.
Yeah. So let's do that. Finesse. Devil's Bargain?
Whether you get her or not. Anyone have anything off the top of your heads?
Person. So two thoughts. First one is newspaper reporter, blogger, teenager with phone takes pictures of fancy Nighthawk device. Second one is somehow Nightjar becomes aware of what's going on here.
I like that. Like getting caught by the media out front seems to be becoming a habit.
Yeah, that's right.
That's really
I don't think I'll take that.
Yep.
But
how about no matter what, the hook itself, like it's gonna hurt her, right? Like you weren't intending to hurt her, but either like you're successful, but like the hook digs in or something like that, or like it punches her in the back and pushes her forward or something like that. I don't know. I was just trying to think of like, heroes don't want to. I know we all know it's a demon, but we don't want to harm others if we can avoid it. So
yeah, so I don't think that's
Cool.
I mean that's a fine thing, but I don't think it's a much of a consequence.
Okay.
But saying it out, yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd personally mind hurting the demon if I knew
Right.
it was them, but
Yeah, and
I'm
since you're using
thinking-
finesse, I think part of the role is doing it without harming her.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
was
You're
gonna
right. You're right.
say- Yeah. So I'm gonna push myself and get another die,
Nice.
and then roll that, and let's see what that looks like.
I can help.
Well, that's a 3. That's a fail.
Ooh. Yeah. So I think what that looks like is, oh man. Yeah, so a couple consequences are happening. She sees the grappling hook, and like as fast as you move, like you don't even see her arm move. She's just holding it, like just before it goes to whiz around her. And the whole thing just like burns all the way back down to where it's coming. And I think that's a level 1 harm for you, like first degree burns.
Mhm.
And after she sees that you've been harmed, she looks back into the coffee shop and says, "Seems like you've got a lot on your hands," and just puts her arms out like that and falls backwards into a portal and disappears.
Okay.
Would you
So
like to resist
I
either
can
of those?
resist the consequences.
Mhm.
I'm gonna resist. I'm gonna resist the first degree burns, but I think I'm okay with the portal.
Cool.
So.
Um,
And what do I roll to resist?
probably prowess, sounds like.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so I take 1 resilience from that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think we'll just wrap up with Rain and Remakes coming downstairs to see the demons in there. And I think the one that grabbed or went after Nighthawk like pulls itself out and just like does the like smashes hands on the thing and runs towards the two of you. I think that's where we'll stop it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Whew. That was
Oh,
unexpected.
That was a nice
Yeah.
tilt. That tilt was awesome.
Caffeine hazard, devilishly good.
Mm.
Sorry.
No, that's good.
Awesome. Cool. Let's do some XP. How about that? Whew. That was so much fun. Explorers. Did you discover something new about the world?
Hey, it turns out that Rain has a devil twin. Just found that out. Didn't know that.
That's awesome. Love it. Cool. That sounds like one there. Anything else?
We know where the body shop is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found out a bunch of stuff about the that whole part.
Situation. Great. That sounds like it's worth another one. And with challenges above your current station, I'm definitely gonna say yes. For
Doesn't
sure.
say defeated, just says dealt with, right?
Contended with for sure.
Yeah.
And are continuing to contend with as we
Got
speak.
pants to buy. Go above current station.
Awesome. Did you bolster your team's reputation or develop a new one?
I think we're about to with devils running around.
I think
so-
the reputation of Strange,
Mm-hmm.
possibly, yeah.
Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the team?
I
Um,
think with Rain and Narrow, like talking to Reese in the
The door.
like how do we handle this? How do we deal with keeping someone imprisoned? Basically,
Mhm.
No
And
trial, just
basically,
indefinitely.
we got into a lot of trouble with trying to make life for that prisoner easier.
Mhm.
So
Awesome. Cool. Looks like y'all have an advance coming now. You want to do that now if you have any strong ideas, or you want to think about it?
Let's take a look, because every time we think about it, there's like 3 sessions later and we didn't take it.
Yep. What are our choices?
+1 to resistance rolls from threats from alternate dimensions.
that's pretty good.
Gosh, that seems like a good idea right now.
Come in handy.
We could also take an advance for turf, couldn't we?
Turf would be a mission, basic or
A mission. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
or something of that.
Synchronize is neat. During group actions, if multiple players roll 6s, it counts as a critical success.
yeah,
It's fun.
I was looking at that one too.
But how often did we did a group action this session?
Yeah, but it was
Not
2
sure
people.
how-
Yeah, it does. It doesn't have often. That's a very good point.
But you can push for it more.
But
often.
unstable molecules seems very appropriate right now.
I'm into it.
Sure.
All right.
Do that.
All right, cool. Unstable molecules it is. That'll definitely come in handy.
I just unlocked, or not unlocked, but unhid Bravos to see if there are any special abilities there that we like.
Cool. Let's go in character keeper order for Galaxy. So, Svava. If you roll desperate, make sure you took your XP for those.
Did we
Yeah,
have Desperate this time around? I don't.
I think, did someone have it?
I had Desperate for my attune roll
Yeah,
because I shifted it to Desperate. Great.
right.
Oh, right. Good call.
Cool. Svava, did you address a challenge with compassion or inspire someone?
I don't think so. I didn't do a whole lot. I went to talk to Sue and I did the fought some demons. I think that was about it.
You helped me train my my prowess by
That's true.
punching me in the
Yeah,
face.
yeah, but I don't feel like that.
Okay.
Did you bring in your profession, origin, or clocks?
Ooh.
I would definitely give you one for bodyguard just for taking out those demons and the protecting the shop.
Otherwise, I kind of tried, like I said, Svava would have different words for things.
Mhm.
I don't know if that counts as bringing in the.
Yeah, it's up to
card.
you. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. And no burdens.
Correct. So that's 2 for me.
Cool. Nighthawk. Did you address the challenge with force or recklessness?
I think it was pretty reckless to slip out the coffee shop while everyone was fighting. So yeah.
Yeah, and go after a sorceress of unknown origin. Yeah, agree. Did you bring in your downtime, clocks, origin, and profession?
I did with the chasing down the money. Like
Yeah,
it went back to my origin.
cool. And your clocks. Yeah, nothing yet. And trauma. Did you bring in your trauma?
Which is insecure leader, and I don't know that came up this session.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's 2. Devil Wolf. Let's see what we hit.
Well, actually, Stephen, like the leader might have should have gone in for this interrogation, right? So maybe there's a little bit of like still figuring out your spot, because if you'd been in there, you probably would have been like, hey, let's not alter reality and just work on getting this guy a TV or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Game Boy. There you go. Good.
So I think
And I was thinking abandoning the rest of the team to go out after Demon Rain might not have been the best thing, but yeah.
Cool. So that's a 3.
So you think so?
It's up to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Always your call.
Sounds good.
Cool. Devil Wolf, did you address the challenge with creativity or solve a problem by thinking outside the box?
yes, I think the remote control was the outside of the box concept.
Yes. I'm glad you went there. That's what I would have suggested.
Cool. Just one there.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Did you bring in your profession, origin, or downtime clocks?
Profession, definitely. I did some stakeout. I helped with like combing through data with Alex. So definitely my reporter profession came into play.
Awesome.
Also, when he was like, "Does that pay money?" she should have had a thought bubble of like, "Yeah, when was the last time I got paid?" The old Peter Parker, like, gotta take more photos of myself, more selfies to sell to flipping JJJ. Yeah, so I would say that a couple of times.
Awesome. And did you struggle with issues from your trauma, survivor's guilt,
So
or your burden?
yeah, I feel like I was pushing on that guilt pretty hard because I felt like it was the burden. But if you guys feel like it like the survivor's guilt has is something else, then I'm up for listening to that. But that's why I was
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I was doing it was I was pushing like a guilt trip on
Yeah.
her.
It's always your call, so it's up to you.
Well, I'd like everybody else's opinion too, or if anybody hasn't.
I felt like guilt trip was definitely happening.
Yeah,
and
I
and
agree.
you feel like survivor. So maybe just, but it was a survivor's guilt is what I put down there. So maybe if we just called it guilt as a burden.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Then that's 4 XP plus the desperate I got. Thank you.
Nice. And Narrow, did you address the challenge with insight or add an interesting perspective to a scene?
I think bringing the books maybe it would be the one I would mark around there.
Cool.
Oh crap! I had an advance from insight. I will need to do that. Sorry. Doesn't matter. Let's keep going.
Did you bring in your downtime clocks, origin, or profession?
I think origin was mentioned a couple times about her scroll technology and her thought process. So I think yes on that.
Right, and you helping with the remote control that was, reshaping things.
Yeah.
Nice. And did you struggle with your insecurity?
I feel like I was leaning hard on the insecurity when he said I don't have any friends, and she's like, but okay.
Nice. Cool. Is that 3 for you or 4?
I think it's 3.
Cool. And that is that. Sweet. Let's do a round of stars and wishes, and we'll just go in other order. So start with Rich.
Okay. Stars, thanks for sticking to it, Steven, even though you had tech issues. I know it can be frustrating, and I appreciate you always having a backup plan so you can stick with us. I really appreciate that, and I think that's great. There have been times where I'm like, bump this, I'm out. Stupid tech is not being happy, and you fought through it. Thank you. Enjoyed having you back, Kai.
Thanks.
And also dealing with the devil and devil wolf was delightful, and will cause many problems going forward. I'm happy about that. Anisha, I liked Svava's reactions to most everything in this session when you had that chance. It was fun. And Mark, the twist at the end and letting. Yeah, okay, so this starts as a star, but it's like a star wish kind of thing. I feel guilty that Kai and I took up so much time with that scene with Reese. I appreciate that we got to find what the scene was about. It was like, oh, let's question them, but boy, this is a terrible thing we're doing. We are bad jailers. We're basically magical Guantanamo Bay. And finding that in the scene was great. It just took up so much time, which is at least the other wish of, I know that Galaxies in Peril says, make up your mission, but fuck, I want somebody to tell us what to do. We're really bad at picking what to do. Really bad. That took up, it felt like half the session. Now, we had a whole lot of hangouts, so it definitely wasn't time-wise half the session, but it felt like half the session was us figuring what the fuck to do. And that's not good. It's not good because that plus the Reese scene was like most of our game. And I don't want that to be the way it is going forward. So I wish we could find an expedited, like, this is the things we're going after, a little more direction, because I'm bad. I'm a bad planner. I'm a bad player when it comes to that. And I know Kai can occasionally stumble into brilliant ideas, but sometimes Kai is like, let's go punch somebody with a disco ball. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? We're all back. And there were times where I would just like, I would go off into like Neverland. I know I was not helping. And so that's a wish, is like we got to find a way to tighten it up, because it gave short shrift to Steven and Undish, I feel like, and that sucks. So that's my big wish, is like short version, tighten it up with mission stuff.
Awesome. Anything else? Cool. Steven. Or I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Kai.
Okay. Yeah, no. I definitely felt similar to Rich on that. I was like, man, like that's why I was just like, have somebody attack us, because then we can respond to it, right?
Done.
Like, if this was Apocalypse World, this would be like you're given a golden opportunity, or they turn and look to you and say, what do we do? Right? And like things happened that we really weren't going for, or weren't expecting, and that was cool. But it took some time. I love that Steven brought in, he's like, not only is it the money, it's my family's money. Like, you're a role player after my own heart there, Steven. Um, so that's that. The wish, I guess, is just to make sure that whoever was trailing me as I was trailing Pretty Boy comes into play.
Oh yeah, they will.
And I'm really hoping that the Rita that you're talking about at the body shop is Ricochet Rita. So, okay. It took me a little while. I was like, wait a minute. There's an extra P and an E at the end of that body shop. Cool. That's me. I'm done.
Cool. Now, Steven.
Yeah. So I'll start with wishes. The fight scene seemed to really light everybody up. That was really good. At the very end. And I'd like to see, like everybody else said, I'd like to see like one connecting thing where we can maybe it's not fight scenes, but like action scenes where we're doing stuff. Unfortunately, we seem to be pushing more towards, stealth and social and that kind of stuff. And it seems like this game feels better whenever you're doing, assault or attack or something like that. At least the theme, like comic books aren't, comic book like the MCU, they aren't really about sitting around talking to people. They're about fighting some big bad. I'm so sorry about the tech issues, but this is kind of a start to Rich. The time that you and Kai took talking in the prison, let me reboot my router. Things seem to be better now, so that's really nice. So I appreciate that. Everybody sticking with me as I popped off and back on and switched to my cell phone and all of that. I'm a little concerned that we have too many threads sitting out there, and I'd like to see them kind of wrapped up into a bundle. I think there's a lot of stuff that we need to do, and I'd like to see that kind of coalesce. And boy, I need a downtime action because I think I took 9 resilience and I traumatized out before that this session. So that's 9 resilience after my trauma.
Gee Louise.
Stars. Yeah. But I was doing that to myself, but yeah. Stars. I really like that the empathy that both Rain and Nero gave to our prisoner, basically with Reese. You brought in books, you tried to talk to him, laid things all out. He was very open about everything, as far as we know. And you were like, "Here, let me help you out," and got us into big trouble. That was a great scene, and I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed my short interaction that I had with Fava, where you didn't say you're running out on me. No, you're like, I got this, which is nice. Let's see. Is there anything else? That might be it.
Cool.
Oh, one other thing. So I want to clarify some rule stuff.
Mhm.
Whenever I used my powers to move fast, I critted.
Yeah.
So that makes that power permanent.
Correct. Yeah.
So do I just make up a name for it and put it in?
I like that you put in can move faster than demons. That's really descriptive and tells us where
Okay.
that came from.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I did that right. Sounds perfect.
Yep.
Thanks.
Totally did it. Cool. Adish.
Yeah, I kind of want to echo things that Rich and Steven said. And I was kind of, I know as maybe as I don't know if I was too pushy, but I was really trying to get us to find a goal for the mission, something that we were trying to do. And I think we've drifted, and I mentioned this before. I think that we've kind of drifted from superheroes into being, especially this session, it felt like we were PIs who sometimes use superpowers more than actual like superheroes. And that can be fun, but I don't feel like that's what the game, it, or maybe it's what the mechanics want us to do, but it's not what the setting wants us to do. I feel like there's a tension between the Blades in the Dark mechanics and the superhero setting that's not quite resolved. And I think it can work, but I think we need to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now we're doing Blade stuff. We're not doing superhero stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's not on any one person. That's us as a group kind of leaning. I think we're leaning into the stuff we know how it works, and doing a little bit of the what makes sense in the real world, like what's a sensible thing to do, not what a superhero thing to do. And those two are not always the same. So I'm not sure. But it's also hard because superheroes largely are reactive and we're being active, and that's also a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. Sorry, I just want to throw this out
No,
because it just struck me. I wonder if there could be like some way to just go on patrol.
Yeah.
It's almost like reverse reactive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
keep going, Adisha. Just
or maybe do more of the here are some like this is putting more job on Mark, but like here are some things you could do. Here are things happening that you could act
right
on.
like jobs in Stars in the Dark kind of deal.
And I have that all on my notes. Exposing it, like making a job board, basically, is not a lot heavy lift for me. Yeah, it's because that's already written down.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think that would help us with the like finding a goal or a short-term goal and maybe long-term goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had fun the session, even the bits I worked in. I mean, it's fun to see what's going on. It's not. I didn't feel checked out because I wasn't in the scenes. It's always fun to follow along what's happening, and so I don't want anyone to feel guilty about that. It's just that's just how it happens. So that's not an issue for me. Yeah, but I do think maybe we need to, and this isn't about the particular scene, but maybe we need to figure out how much time we want to spend on the like setting up for the mission versus doing the mission, that sort of thing. Yeah, I have a wish that we have a scene with everyone together because that's been a while, and that would be fun to do, whether it's during a mission or a downtime thing, or just but just having all the characters together would be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. I'll say that till after. Yeah, I feel the same about a lot of the stuff that got brought up as wishes. And I think part of that is on me for kind of maybe letting it breathe a little bit too much, maybe, instead of directing as a GM a little bit more. I could do that. So I'll keep an eye on that, both in the sense of like it feels like the scene has gone on long enough, and making the mission hooks more explicit, both in the moment and making it. I think a job board is a really good idea. So definitely gotta do that. Yeah, the other we might want to think about, and maybe like after next session, think about changing to a different team type, because it feels like you might want more rebels, which is more like going out and kicking ass, busting heads, instead of just like exploring the world, which I think we've explored the world a lot. We've got a lot of stuff. One of the stars is that like I have a bunch. We have a lot of stuff to work with. We could like literally open up no more threads and still have like another 20 sessions just on what we've built already. So we've done a great job of exploring. Yeah. Stars to everyone who did not resist fun consequences. Like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, you could probably resist it. Nope. Cool. All right. Now this is a whole thing now. Yeah, and I did really like the scene with Reese, because it was like y'all said, like digging into the empathy of like, oh no, what are we doing? And how can we do the right thing here without messing stuff up? And then Rain's compassion basically bringing out her evil side, and having that happen, like demon shows up, turns the coffee shop upside down, and now there's a new threat out there from like, oh, kind of like an investigation action. Super fun. Yeah, did not expect any of that to happen, so I'm always delighted by being surprised. Yeah, and same with Steven and others bringing in background stuff and like plugging in like, oh, like the one of the things I've been not struggling with but kind of keeping an eye out for is how to involve, I guess, both of your backstories a little bit more. And I think both with plugging the Reavers leader into Svava's sister and plugging Shaw into Alex's family, like that's some juice right there. That's some good stuff. So thank you for bringing those in. I really liked the opening with the motorcycle scene. That was a lot of fun. What else? Yeah, just had a good time with all the stuff. Yeah, definitely room to make things smoother, but still having a great time. So awesome. I'll write down the on patrol. On patrol. Yeah, I think that's all I've got. Anything else from y'all?
No, excited about more.
Yeah, cool. Well, that's that. Goodbye, internet, whoever's watching us.
Internet.